He's big, he's ugly, and he's coming straight out of Tokyo. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, we coming with another wonderful episode of Thumbnails, and we got a special episode because it finally dropped. I'm so excited to now talk about Netflix's Godzilla. And in general, I want to give a quick shout out to Netflix because they've really been holding down anime in a way that I didn't expect. So, you know, from all the series and the movies, they've really been doing a pretty good job of bringing us some news, content, dropping it on us, and keeping it on there without taking it back off the site as well. But let's get into what I enjoyed first about when we covered the whole trailer news, which is the art. From the trailer, it looks like this has gotten better. Just the way things look, the way things move. I love the character design of this. It's really just, it's right up my alley. Like, I really enjoy it. Kind of like cel shady kind of look, similar to Knights of Sidonia. I enjoy that as well. I spoke about this a little bit on the Star Wars episode just a second ago, but I do like just the way it's lit, the way you have the shading, the way the characters move through the through the sets and all that. It's really cool to me, and I can't really put a pin on it, but I enjoy it a lot. Now, if you didn't know about this movie, because we're going to get into some spoilers, definitely, since we're reviewing it, is, you know, Godzilla came out, and, you know, there were all these monsters, and humanity had to leave Earth. They left Earth, and they were out there for like 20 years, and they were like, yo, man, look, check it. We can't find no other planet. Everybody's going to die. So they're like, yo, we got to turn back and go back to Earth. Now, by the time they get back to Earth, it's been 20,000 years, and Earth is just a little bit different than it used to be. So now that we got that out of the way, we can talk about the cool stuff like the mentions of Mechagodzilla. When Godzilla first came before they fled, they were trying to get Mechagodzilla to work. They couldn't get it to work for some reason. It wouldn't power on. You know, they saw Godzilla just smashing all these other monsters, and they had to leave. And what I do enjoy about this is that they spend a lot of time focusing on why they had to leave and how much despair they're in. Like, even when we open in this whole movie, the idea that we have to kill all of the elderly because there just is, you know, there's not enough rations for everyone to make it. So they have to kill off the elderly just to be able to survive as a species. And, you know, nobody wants to do that. And, you know, they all kind of like beaten down, and they really have their backs against the wall because there's nothing left for them. And they do a good job of driving home how, on one hand, this drives you delirious. On the other hand, it drives you to depression. But in the middle, you have, you know, Haro, who is kind of trying to go back and claim our home. You know, this is Earth, this is ours. It doesn't belong to Godzilla. And some think he's crazy. Some think he's delusional. Some think that he's got nothing else but to try this to get out of jail. But he does a good job, or the voice actor on the Japanese side and on the English side do a great job of like putting that emotion in there where like Earth is all that he seems to have on his mind, or all that he's got left. So of course they go back to Earth, and that's where, you know, kind of everything hops off. But I do want to stop and say that I really enjoyed the science that they put into how they were warp traveling and things of that nature. The way they illustrated it, I think that was really cool too. It was nice to see them not just throw science out the window. Now, of course, I'm no science guy. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who watches this show every day, might be like, Michael, all that science is wrong. But, I mean, hey, at least it sounded good, and that's all I need. I need science to sound good in the movie. I don't need it to be real. In real life, science needs to be real. But in fake life, you know, just sound good, and I'll be happy. And in this case, they went a long way to make it seem like, okay, this makes sense in this world. This makes sense here. This makes sense on this ship. This makes sense with the thrusters and all that stuff. And the relativity of time was something that was extremely cool, because at first they thought it was like 10,000 years, found out it was 20,000. And it was it was just nice to see that attention to detail, because they could have just skipped all that. They could have been like, hey, let's go to warp, and just went out. But they took the time to show how the ship works. And I like that. I like seeing some world building and figuring out how the physics of this world actually operates. So, you know, a big kudos to that too, because this movie is pretty fresh. Now, we're gonna get to the action because we know we all here for the monsters. Of course, first, before we touch on the action and all that lovely stuff, Cure Brand gonna help us pay them bills. Yeah, that's right. Check that link below for CureBrand.com. They got hats, shirts, hoodies, all that. And once you find something you like, cop it. Now, let's get to what we're all here for, which is what I really enjoyed, which they did not skimp out on. We spent a lot of time learning the society that was on the ship, learning about the people, especially Haruo, who, you know, is kind of like at odds on the end of his rope, just wants to get back home. But of course, Earth is not what we think it is when we get back, from the shrubbery to the trees to, you know, even the animals or the creatures in this case. Because first, we're attacked by these like weird dragons, and they do a lot of damage. The cool thing is that we get a ton of action. We get some great little machines that are kind of like Jet Moto, but they are fresh, man. Like the way they fly around, the way they strafe, and the way they're using their attack patterns to kind of guard against or either run away from or then sometimes fight these dragon things are extremely cool. And I gotta give props because they built us up and they gave us the cast of characters, but they didn't skimp out on this because we lose a lot of people. We lose a whole bunch of ships to the point where they can't get back in orbit. So the people that are in space, they up in space and they probably ain't coming down. And the people that are now on Earth, they just on Earth, and we all we got. And we finally get to see Godzilla. And from the cult-like ex-Sith guys, we start to wonder and think if this Godzilla is immortal, because it's been 20,000 years. Like, is Godzilla like someone who will just always be, or something that will always be here, like never changing, never ending? And you know, they have this plan to try to take Godzilla out, and it sort of works. Well, yes, it does work. They definitely figure out how he's using his shield, how his power works, and stuff of that nature, but they lose a lot of lives. But not before an amazing attack and defense strategy put on with just amazing set piece of action. You get the flying, you get the main ships, you get some mechs in there. There is a lot, and even like small scale tanks, there's a large concerted effort to take Godzilla down, and it finally works. The only thing is, after all of this glorious action, we find out that that was probably Godzuki, because the real Godzilla awakens at the end, and it is on one end glorious. It's glorious for us because we watching it, we ain't in no trouble. Now for the people in the show or the people in the movie, it's horrible, because if you thought the little baby Godzilla was big, nah, he was teeny compared to the real Godzilla. When Godzilla really wakes up, like dude's like the size of a mountain or something like that. It's just crazy how large he is in scale to them. And of course, when he wakes up, he's not extremely pleased that, of course, you killed, you know, probably his son or daughter or whatever it was. I mean, it's like a baby Godzilla. I don't know the sex of the thing. But the bottom line is, it leads us into, of course, a sequel that is going to be coming probably sometime next year or something like that. Maybe this year. I haven't heard yet. I've been looking around, but I haven't seen. But for part one, this movie that I thought we were only getting one of anyway, I'm definitely happy about this. I was not expecting it to lead us into a second movie. That's why when I saw the part one, I was like, wow, okay, we're gonna get more of this. And the way they ended off, of course, now we have a larger threat, which is the real Godzilla. And hopefully we'll see the Mecha Godzilla come into play. which is really what we all want to see anyway. I mean, come on, man. Godzilla versus man with Mecha Godzilla is going to be crazy. But I have to say, if you haven't checked it out, if you like Godzilla or you like anime or you like both, you should definitely check out Godzilla. Give it some time. I think it's about an hour and a half or so. And I had fun, man. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad it's here. And big shout out to Netflix, man. You guys are doing your thing. So, of course, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you. Down in the comments, let's talk Godzilla. Let's talk Netflix anime. All that wonderful stuff down in them comments. And of course, before I bounce, I'm gonna tell you guys to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right. Check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.thatnerdsoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt player. And don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right. There's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart, and please be good to yourselves. Don't forget to be good to each other. And remember, just because the planet looks safe doesn't mean it is safe. Peace.